And welcome to my Nether showcase. Now this is a showcase of the 1.60 Nether update, because I've seen a lot of people confused, not very big brain. No, I'm just kidding, I don't know, man. I am the first one to do this 1 week after the update came out, so there's that. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people confused, so I just wanted to make a quick video going over all the new blocks, mobs, generated structures, all that good stuff, to show you guys what this new update is all about. So first of all, probably the main part of any update, blocks. Now, the first block we're going to be going over is the warped stem. Now this is basically the log to the new Netherwart trees, the blue Netherwart trees in the warped Netherwart forest, and this is basically the log, but it makes a kind of weird sound. I'll let you listen to it. And it also comes in a stripped variant that is very turquoise. That's what I was looking for. Sorry. This is the warped variant of it, because there is also the crimson variant of it. This is the red variant, red blue. They're two different biomes technically, but they are both Netherwart forests, and it kind of acts the same as the warped stem, same sort of sounds, same sort of textures, but this one, obviously you can probably tell, is red. Pretty much. It's got this it's obviously also got a strip variant. It's very claret-esque. And the next thing, and I guess we should move over to the next block, since, we've got all these things done. So the next block is the warped hyphae. This is basically like this, but there's no log texture to it. It's also got a stripped variant, obviously, very similar texture to this. In fact, basically identical. I'm pretty sure they are identical. And this is, of course, the crimson variant, red, blue, red, blue. Obviously, claret again for the stripped variant, very similar texture. So I guess that's all the Netherwart forest stuff done. So the next biome we're going to be going over is the basalt deltas. Now, these will also be found in the Nether, alongside the Nether, because, Nether update. So this is basalt. This is regular basalt, and then just sort of like tower basalt, I guess. This is polished basalt. Kind of has a log texture to it, in my opinion. And this is polished basalt. Basalt is very, it's very blast resistant. It's obviously fireproof, because, obviously. And this is a really cool block, in my opinion. Probably one of the coolest blocks they've added in the update, but not quite, because there's also added this block. This is Blackstone, and this is one of my favourite blocks, maybe in the game. Maybe my favourite, overall, all of them. This is regular Blackstone. You'll find this just naturally. This is it's very similar in texture to this version of basalt, but it kind of reminds me of obsidian as well, just a lot less purple. Obviously it's blast resistant, fire resistant, all that good stuff. But there's also polished Blackstone now. This can probably be smelted into it. This is found in the Limb Bastions. And this is probably my favourite block in the game at the moment. It's got a very nice texture, kind of reminds me of the stone brick block, kind of, then a lot darker and a lot more textured. This is glided Blackstone, kind of reminds me of a dragon scale, I guess. It's super cool. I think that's meant to be gold in there. It's so cool. I really like all of these blocks. All of these blocks are really cool. This is cracked Blackstone, kind of similar to polished Blackstone, so obviously really good. It's a bit darker on the inside to sort of get a cracked idea. And this is chiseled chiseled Blackstone. It's very resemblant of a piglin head. It's kind of a little face on it, hasn't it? Like, yeah, that's all the Blackstone variants. There's 5 variants, so quite a few. And we're going to go on to one of the last blocks, and this is Soul Soil. This can be found in the Soul Sand Valley. You'll also find fossils and soul sand there. And if you run on it, unlike... Oh, wait, I gotta take these boots off. Those for later. If you run on it, it does not slow you down like soul sand does, which is quite useful. And it's got a little bit of surprise when you set fire to it, but we'll get into that in a second after we've gone over the respawn anchor. Now this basically means you can respawn in the Nether, which is really good. So you just stand on here, you can respawn in the Nether. It's powered by glowstone blocks, so it is quite expensive to power up. It's also quite hard to find. And it basically if you do it in the overworld, it basically works as the same way a bed would in the Nether. And I'll show you how I know that. Yeah, I was trying to set up one of these earlier, and it didn't really work out. And everything blew up. I had to turn fire spreads off, take out all the fire. Everything went insane. It was really annoying. But the next thing we're going to be on to is... Remember how I said there was a surprise when you lit Soul Soil on fire and Soul Sand? This is it. This is Soul Fire. It sets fire to you normally when you step in it. There's no special thing there. Hopefully I'll have that soon. But this can probably be used to. And there is a few variants of Soul Fire. The Soul Lanterns. The soul campfires and the soul torches. Now it's pretty easy to differentiate between them all. They're all blue, obviously, compared to their mostly orange counterparts. But this is a completely separate block to a campfire. So if you take this campfire out and then relight it, it will still be a soul campfire. So there's 2 different types of campfires, and they're really hard to differentiate if they're lit out. So yeah. And that is the blocks section of the video done. Now the next section is the mobs section. Now there's a few mobs that you can't get in the overworld, and you have to go to the Nether for them, even in creative. So the first mob that we have is the piglin. Now this is the main mob that was added in 1.16. Now this guy, he will be hostile towards you. He kind of replaces the zombie pigman, and he will be hostile towards you. Now you don't have to wear like full gold armor, but you do need at least 1 bit. I recommend boots because they're the cheapest and easiest to get back if you lose them, and they give less armor. He also, this guy really likes gold, because you can actually trade with this guy. If I press this button, it gives this guy a gold ingot, and he is actually going to drop something for us. He's going to look at it, he's going to suspect it, see what happens, and he's going to probably drop something into the hopper. What's he dropped? He has dropped 10 leather. Now these trades can be from really good to not good at all. Like, I'm pretty sure you can get from rotten flesh to netherite with this. So it can be a terrible trade-off. You could not even break even with how much you spent to how much you got, or it could be the best trade of your life if your piglin's nice and friendly. But this is the piglin's animal counterpart, the hoglin. Now this dude is the only way you can get food in the Nether, so little thing there. He drops pork chocks and leather when killed, and he is always hostile towards you. So be aware for hoglins, because they are quite dangerous and they are very hostile. They're hostile to pretty much everything, so they're one of the most hostile mobs in the game. But this is the first non-hostile mob to ever enter the Nether, and this is the Strider. Now the way the Strider works, is he is basically your way to cross the giant lava pools. Because you can actually, once this guy's all grown up, you can actually put a saddle on him and get a fungus on a stick, which is something that we won't be going over in this video. And you can actually ride him across the lava pools, because if you look, he's cold when he's outside of lava, you see, but then he's warm on the inside, so it's quite useful. So it's quite useful to get across without having to build a bridge, and a ghast will just shoot you down and kill you, which is quite useful. But yeah, that's all the mobs that we need to go into the Nether for. So we shall return to the overworld. And we're back in here. And the first thing we're going to be going over is the zombified piglin. You don't want to look at me at the moment. Now this is like the full replacement to the zombie pigman. He works exactly the same. Except he's neutral until you're wearing gold, I'm pretty sure. He's basically a zombie pigman. He's basically a zombie pigman, but with piglin texture. That's pretty easy. And if a piglin gets it, a hoglin also gets it. So this is the Soglin. Now once again, always hostile, always going to attack you. And he drops rotten flesh. And he's very dangerous. He's basically like, I think he's as powerful as a hoglin, if not stronger. And he's pretty, yeah, he drops rotten flesh, so pretty much just a way to get you injured. And the way these things work is, if they come into the overworld, if a piglin or a hoglin comes into the overworld, they will turn into a zombified piglin or hoglin. So next up is probably the biggest update in this update, biggest change, and that's that diamonds have been dethroned, because the new best material in the game is the netherite ingot, and like this has its own section. It's this big. So the way you get netherite, it's quite a long process. You have to get ancient debris. Now this is pretty much resistant to everything you throw at it, apart from diamond and netherite pickaxes. You have to be at Y level 15 in the Nether to get it. It kind of has a log texture to it. This is its texture. This is what it sounds like. And this will drop you ancient debris. Now you want to smelt this ancient debris in a furnace, blast furnace, whatever, and that will give you a netherite scrap. You can get it here, netherite scraps. And then you want to mix that with gold, which can now be found in the Nether. This is what the texture for Nether gold ore looks like. It's basically the same as regular gold ore. And you want to put it in a crafting table. I don't really know the recipe for it, but it's pretty simple. Just four netherite scraps, four gold, and then that will give you your first netherite ingot. And the good thing about this is, about netherite, is you don't need like 30 netherite ingots. You don't have to get like a full set of armor, because you only need one to get to like upgrade your gear, and all your enchantments carry over. Now obviously I can't do this because I don't have a diamond sword on me, but yeah, that's how it would work. If you did have a diamond sword, all your enchantments would carry over, and it only costs one netherite ingot, which is pretty helpful. And lastly, there's one more thing. Randomly generated structures. Now there's two new randomly generated structures in this update. One of them is found in the overworld and in the Nether, and the other one is found only in the Nether. So the first one, this is the ruined Nether portal. Now this will be a Nether portal with some crying obsidian there, with some crying obsidian in it, and you'd have to replace that crying obsidian with regular obsidian, because crying obsidian will not light. I probably should have shown you a texture for that. And then once you've set it all up, you just need to, this chest will probably have, you can head into the Nether completely fine. So it's pretty much an easier way to get into the Nether. It will also come with a chest. This will normally have sort of gold stuff in it, and also a lot of stuff that you might need to repair the portal. And it will also come with this block of gold. Now I recommend you take this if you don't have a lot of gold, because obviously the piglins are hostile, as I said earlier, if you're not wearing gold. So you can just like mine this up, get a couple boots from it, and some extra gold, which is really cool. And the next structure, this can only be found in the Nether. This is the Limb Bastion. Now this is a big block, I think, and if it was up to scale, it have corridors in the center. It's pretty big in reality. I tried to find one in the Nether, but I couldn't, so sorry about that. Now there'll be some gold in the middle, there'll be corridors with chests, and obviously if you're poking around the gold or poking around the chests, the piglins will come after you, because there's piglins and hoglins all around this place. So you do want to be pretty careful around here, like if you want to go for some chests. So yeah, that's the Limb Bastion, and we'll move on to the final thing that we're talking about today, which is the newest enchantment, and I didn't put a button here, but anyway, the newest enchantment, this is the Soul Speed enchantment. So if I get these netherite boots I have, and this is Soul Speed 3, there is Soul Speed 1, 2 and 3, and what they do is, we can go into third person for this because it's fun. Right. Basically what they do is they turn soul sand from the slowest block in the game to the fastest, which is really cool. They also make this weird sound once you're done with it, I'm pretty sure. It's nice wind sound. And if you go into third person, it looks really cool because you're super fast. It looks like a superhero intro, just get some action music on top. It's great. It's a great enchantment. I recommend, if you get it, put it on your boots, cause it's quite convenient really. Yeah, that was my Nether showcase of the 1.16 update. I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit that like button, and if you really enjoyed, maybe think of clicking that subscribe if you're new here, maybe clicking that notification bell as well. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy. My name is Scrubby, thanks for watching, and donate to charity.